our transmission, because I just got dropped. Wait for a second. Okay, there we go. So like it everywhere. Our internet connection is going a little wild. Let me see what's going to happen right now, because we got to push everybody to come on to just in case. I don't see it connecting over here. Anyways, so the woe means a total destruction. Okay, so let me say this one more time. If you have an issue with my connection on the internet, correct? If you see me going out, or for some reason we lose this connection, don't forget you can go onto my Facebook page, Kazakh Yad, and I'm transmitting from there. Also transmitting onto the ISUPK, the res on both of them. So either or, you can jump on just in case, because I see that they're trying to disconnect our connection here. So let's move forward. Moving forward with this, the war that we're seeing brewing up in what's known as, like I said, the true nations are in the Bible. So what we see brewing up in Magog, and what is that? Gog and Magog, correct? In Gog and Magog, that which is Russia, the Ukraine, and those nations. Why is this happening? Because of what the Bible says.
Right.
Woe, right? Destruction to a nation that's built on what?
On blood.
On blood. America is built on blood.
Right.
America is built on murder.
Right.
On rape.
Right.
On destruction.
Right.
That's what America's built on. Now, this is not me just saying this. I'm getting this from American history. You can look into the American history books and realize that this that we're speaking is a truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we ain't making this up. This ain't being made up because we want to just say this.
Right.
We're saying this because it's a truth.
Damn right.
We're saying this because if you read into the, give me 1 second. Let me see. If you read into America's history books, we see the destruction that they've caused.
Right.
We see the shame that America has. You know what I'm saying? Like, America's a shameful nation. Like, if any other nation was to do this, I guarantee you they'd go and they'd be called insurgents. They'd be called, every name in the book, terrorist. Like, you go through all of them, right? But they name every other nation who does things that America does. They call them that.
Right.
They talk about what is that? Human rights. And in reality, America has violated human rights since the very beginning.
Right.
This nation is established on the violation of human rights of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what this nation is built on. It's built on violation of rights. If you really think about it, it's something that goes deeper into history than what we really know. Because even today, we're digging up, the things that we didn't know, things they didn't tell you in school or high school or in movies. For instance, the syphilis and gonorrhea that was given to the people in Central America, in Guatemala, when they went down there and injected our people on purposely with gonorrhea and syphilis as an experiment on our people. You know what I'm saying? How about the Tuskegee experiments on Blacks, right? How about giving Native American Indians, how about the experiment with what was known as child services, by taking the children away from them and putting them into the boarding schools? You know what I'm saying? This is our Native American Indian brothers who died in these schools, separated from their families. And then they went on their reservations talking about the conditions that these children are living in are not right. So we need to take your children. And they did that under the act of, child services.
Right.
This is where child services got its jump.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How about the electric chair? Right. Putting children on the electric chair in order for them to stop speaking their Native American English language. Well, let's not go too far. Mexicans, it happened to you too. In the schools, in what was that called?
The missions, I don't want.
No, the missions, exactly. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, the missions. But I was gonna think of a town, Silver City. Well, it passes me in Texas, and I'll think about it. But the idea that Mexican people could not speak Spanish, you know what I'm saying? If you were caught speaking Spanish, then you would be punished. Right. You know what I mean? They would, you know, that dunce hat you see in the old school movies where they put a white hat on you that said dunce. You know, in the movies, it was kind of like a joke. It was kind of like, you know, something that was supposedly funny, but in reality, they did that to Hispanic people. Right. That's what was done to Hispanic people right there. Right. You know what I mean? In order to shame them for speaking Spanish. Right. In order for put them on the spot, right? Put them on blast, as we say today, for speaking their own language. Imagine Native American Indians and Hispanic people, man, we got so much in common in this nation that has shown nothing but hate to us. The taking of our children, the taking of our land, the stripping of our language, the cutting of our hair, the rob, rape, and murder of our people. But yet you see a lot of Native American Indians, and I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of them come against Mexicans, talking about, you guys aren't Native Indian. You know, that's how bad the destruction of our people is. That's how bad it's gotten. It's gotten so bad that we're beginning to believe that we are not the same people. Right. We're beginning to come against each other. You know what I mean? And they're talking about that we don't belong, that we are not the same. Right. But in reality, that's a destructive thing that that America has done to us. They've taught us to have hate for each other. Right. You know what I mean? And that's wicked. That's why America has got to be destroyed because of that, bringing precepts on the destruction of America. America has got to be destroyed because of, not because the color of their skin, like we're taught, right? It's because America has done this to us. Right. That's why. Let me add you to our stream. All right. Shalom, y'all. Bashim Shabbat. All right. So we're going to continue. We got Malakma in today. The water Malakma for joining in. You know what I'm saying? You know what we're going through today? We're going through the destruction of America and why America has to be destroyed. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, Malakma?
Sir. If I could, I just want to add this, man, because for all the people out there that get offended by us saying that, we say this is the reason why we say it. America's destruction, right, is justice for the crimes that America has done to so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's the justice for our rasa. I mean, you got to think about it, black man and brown man. You really think you're going to charge the white man for his crimes that he's done to us, and we're going to bring him to justice in his own court system? You really think we're going to, go to court and then he's going to find himself guilty? Come on now, man. Right. It's going to take a higher power to bring him to justice. Right. And that's the Lord. The Lord will bring the so-called white man to justice. The Lord will bring America to justice for the crimes that they've done, for locking our kids in those cages, for lynching our brothers, man, for being too uppity, too Mexican, speaking Spanish, for that devil that went into that Walmart and executed all those people.
Gone. And absolutely. And you know what? If you think about it, man, even today, we're seeing it, what Malak was talking about is so true. Because even today, the white police officer kills a black man and he's held not guilty. Right. How many times has there not been marches? How many times that people have not gone out to protest? You know what I'm saying? Like we've lost count of how many black people have been killed in America on the streets and how many times these devils have gotten away with it. Right. How many times they've been found not guilty, right? In order for you to get justice, you have to burn down your own neighborhoods. Right. Burn your own cars. You know what I'm saying? Destroy yourself. For you know what? For they can have compassion for you. Right. For they can have some kind of pity for you. For they can be like, oh, you know what? We're sorry that this happened. Salaki, let me see. The sister's saying that we got a bad echo. Oh, man, it's echoing. Is that yours, maybe?
I'm muting my mic.
Okay, mute your mic. Let me know if you still hear an echo. Do you still hear an echo? Let me know. Let me know, Rasia. Let me know, Akim. Aqua, let me know if you can still hear an echo before I continue. No, I think we're good. Okay. So, you know, how many times have our people had to march to get some kind of justice? You know what I mean? That's shameful.
Right.
You know, that we would have to go through all this to get some kind of justice. That we have to march with signs and picket and hold hands in a line and you know, starve ourselves, talk about, you know what, I'm not going to eat. We're going to go on strike. You know, how many times have Mexicans, right? What is that? May 1st? May 1st, right? May 1st is when we do the walkouts.
Right.
I remember back in the 90s, me and my son Lahab and my daughter, we went out to the May 1st marches. We were like, man, we're gonna participate. This is before I came into the truth. We're like, we always used to participate in everything we could. Like, I was big on I think that's yours. I was big on protesting and, you know, going out and marching and, you know, talking about what was happening to our people. I was always big on that. You know what I mean? Oh, there you go. So me and Lahab and us, we went out there, man. We went out here in LA on Wilshire Boulevard, and there was an ocean of Mexican people, man. Millions, I would say, man, I'm saying millions because that's just what it seemed like. Millions of Hispanic people out there marching for justice. It was called May 1st, May Day. And we went out there because, why? Because of the injustice that was happening to Hispanic people. So in order for us to get justice, we have to march. We have to get together, hold hands, and go out there and march. We have to do things like that in order for them to realize something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? In order for this nation, these Edomites, to even consider that you're mad at something, you have to get together with all your people, all of them, all million of them, and go out there and march.
Right.
Go out there and take signs and picket and march and do everything you can to get their attention, because they don't realize something's happening to you. You live in poverty. You're low paying. You're in the cages, in the detention centers. You're starving on the streets of America. You're living in tents. Your neighborhoods are being gentrified. You know what I'm saying? Your kids are the number ones in the prison system, and yet they still don't think something's wrong with you. They still think everything is okay. Then all of a sudden you go out and march, and then they realize, wait a minute, something's wrong. How wicked these people are. How goddamn wicked is it that you can't tell that a nation is hurting? How wicked is that you can't understand that something is going wrong? How they don't know that the Native American Indian is dying on the reservation, that their daughters are disappearing by the masses, that our children are dying in the cages. But if it's a goddamn animal in the what is that? What is that where they hold the animals? The goddamn
pound,
the goddamn pound. They have another name for it. The shelters, the Humane Society is the word I was looking for you. But the Humane Society, even the word humane society, you know what I'm saying? Humane, they're trying to be humane. You know what I mean? Goddamn, it takes that much for them to realize something's wrong with you. But those animals, oh, pobrecitos, they're in the cages. Pobrecito, they're puppies, they're dying.
Right.
You know, oh, you know what? Let's have some compassion for a dog, for a cat. You know what I'm saying? There, they think they need compassion for them. But us, you don't need compassion because you shouldn't be here anyways. You're a wetback.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way they see these things. That's the way these people, their perception of compassion is not for Black, Hispanics, or Native American Indians. Go ahead, Malakma.
Nah, so like, so that's just heavy to touch on that, right? They call it what, the Humane Society, right?
Humane.
And we talking about a people, right, that's inhumane.
Right.
They're known for being inhumane, but when it comes to animals, all of a sudden they're humane.
Right.
So you know that just shows why we say, you know, what the scripture says in the book of Psalms, right? The words out of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Absolutely.
The war was in his heart. Like this devil will try to play the victim, will try to play, you know, try to paint himself as the hero. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he's the villain. He's the villain in the, you know, in this whole thing. You know, we just got to wake up as a people, man, to come together within our own, man. Love our own rasa first, man. That's basically ultimately the message that we send here in the ISUPK, right?
Right.
For so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, right? You got to pay attention to everything that's happening around you, the oppression you suffering. You really think that we're suffering the way we're suffering today because our rasa just can't get our act together? You really think we're suffering, you know, crime and everything that because we're just a bunch of wetbacks who can't speak English? You think we're poor because, you know, we have no drive, man? We're some of the hardest working, most ingenuitive people in this society, man.
Absolutely.
And we're still in poverty. You got to put that together, Brown man. And ask yourself this: why is that? And then this is why we say the white man is the devil, or the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? This oppressor put conditions and set it up to where we can't get ahead, we can't prosper. And every time we bring that up, right, every time we mention that, we're told that we're playing the victim card. Right. We're playing the race card. Right. Nobody owes us anything.
Right.
You know, we got to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. We've been doing that, black man and brown man, and nothing's changed. If working hard and getting rich was the answer to all of this, our oppression would have been over a long time ago, man.
Right.
Our kids wouldn't be in those cages, man. You wouldn't hear about, you know, brown men and black men getting killed by police and not getting any justice for it. You know what I mean? And then, so I just wanted to add this before, you know, I pass the door back to you. I just want to say this, man. You're about to see how tolerant America is of immigrants and refugees when it comes to these Ukrainians. Right. You're going to have a rush of Ukrainian refugees coming over here, and you're not going to hear anything about, you know, jobs being stolen, crime coming in, you know, they're bringing, you know, they're not assimilating. Damn well no, Ukrainian gonna come over here, speak what Russian, whatever language they speak, right? They're gonna be speaking their original language, and nobody's gonna tell them to speak English first. And they're gonna have a shop in your body, man.
Absolutely. And Malik Gutierrez, man, absolutely right. He says in antiquity, when we marched, it was to go to war, and the walls of Jericho fell.
Right.
You know what I mean? And absolutely, you're right. That was the Lord working with us, but we've abandoned the Lord.
Right.
We've gotten away from Him. That's why we're in the condition that we're in.
Right.
Because when we were with the Lord was with us, and we didn't have to lift a finger. All we had to do was be with the Lord. And let me tell you something, Gutierrez. That's exactly what's happening right now in the ISUPK. That you're speaking about is taking place right now as we speak. The Lord has told us, right, through scripture, that we should not take vengeance. It says vengeance is of the Lord. So we're not supposed to take vengeance. All we're supposed to do is keep the law, statutes, and commandments and do as the Lord tells us to do. And what the Lord tells us to do is do exactly what you see us doing right now. Speaking, coming out here and calling our people with truth. Right? Speaking truth. Because you know what? Let me tell you what catches your ear. Truth catches your ear.
Right.
This is the revolution right here. Truth is revolutionary in our time. All we have to do is speak, and your spirit knows that what's coming out of our mouth is true. Right. America is a wicked country, the way my brother Navarro says. America is a nation that has done nothing but destroy our people.
Right.
And you know why? Because of our own fault. Because we chose to turn away from the Lord and worship the idols of other of other nations, the gods of other nations. We've chosen to worship the Virgin Mary, white Jesus, San Martín de Porres, Santo Niño de Antoche, Santa Maria de su chingada madre. You know, all these saints and saintesses and whatever, man. I don't even know what to call them anymore because there's so many of them. You know what I'm saying? But it was our fault that this happened to us. Okay. But you know what? The Lord knew this. This is prophetic. This is prophecy. He on purposely did this so that we'll know that the Bible is 100% correct. Because what does it say? In the land of your captivity, you will remember who you are, and you will call me by my name. And once again, he will make us a nation. Isn't that what it says? And that's exactly what's happening to us today. Today, man, I'm keeping all the law, statutes, and commandments, brother. I do not eat pork. I do not eat camarones. And let me tell you something, man, I'm a big banda fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big banda fan. If you're Mexican, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I love las pachangas. And you know what went along? La cervecita, los siete mares.
Right.
Los camarones de agua, what is that? Camarones enchilados, right? Camarones, aguachiles. Aguachiles, brother. You know, los ostiones. You know what I'm saying? La langosta. That was my favorite food. El pulpo, los siete mares, el caldo de camarón, el cóctel de camarón. These are las carnitas, carnal. You know what I'm saying? Los chicharrones. You know, el pastor. You get all drunk. You get all crazy at the banda, listening to music. The next thing you know, you're drinking like crazy. The next thing you know, hey, bring that over to the table. Now you got a table full of buckets of beer, and now you got a table full of seafood. And it's funny because you never order tacos. You order straight seafood. Like for some reason, the most wickedest thing there is exactly what we would order. We could have ordered anything. Hey, bring me chips and salsa and we're good. But hell no, we ordered all the wickedest things on the plate. Like, I think the menu said most wicked, right? And that's what we ordered. That's the part of the menu we ordered from. We ordered from the part of the menu that said wicked as hell. And that's my side right there. That's what I'm leaving. But think about it. That's how we grew up. And you know what it is? It's very simple, man. What happens is that we turned away from the love of the Lord, from the law, statutes, and commandments, from what the Lord wanted us to do, but we turned away, kind of how you could say it, because that was camarones a la diabla, absolutely. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. That's the way, but that's the way the Lord planned it out. He planned it out in a way where we would know at this time, like now I know, like now I'm reading the Bible, you know, I'm doing my studies, and sometimes I think to myself, damn, you know, goddamn, you know, back then, man, I didn't even know that I was doing that. I had no idea how bad I was, you know, when I was doing all that wicked shit, you know, and all of a sudden, now that I'm reading, I realize, well, you know what, man, the Lord said that he did that to me on purpose. He did that because I wasn't paying attention. You know, I thought going to the Catholic Church or the Christian church was, hey, it's okay, you know, but man, now you realize that all that was a plan that the Most High had, because, man, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell all of you something. You know, we're all wicked in our own ways, you know what I mean? But I was a wicked, non-understanding, don't tell me nothing, I'm going to do what I want to do type of wicked. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about anything but one thing. Oh, okay. One thing, and that was doing, what is it? What is that? That white man uses to do as thou wilt. That was my thing. I'm going to do as I will. I don't know where I heard that, but I know some wicked ass. Yeah, I said that, and that was me. That was my do as I will, man. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to go do what I think I want to do. And you know what? That's a real wicked way of thinking. You know what I mean? And so even now, I'm going to tell you something. Even now, like, I got the old homies, the old friends who, you know, on my pages, they see me and they're like, hey, what's up? You know, they call me by my slave name and they'll be like, hey, what's up, bro, man? We need to get together, you know? And I know these rasa still in their wicked ways, you know, and I don't blame them. You know, I don't see them as, oh, brother, man, you wicked, I'm not. No, I see these brothers as, man, I was where you were at. You know what I mean? And now, Alistair Crowley, do as thou wilt. Khan, the water. Who is that? Pagi Anasium. Pagai Anasium. Alistair Crowley, do what thou wilt. The water, that's what it is. They say it's Mexican Viagra. Damn, Mayar. Okay, yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, that's the way it goes, though, man. That's the way we were brought up, you know. And if Rasa knows anybody that's rasa and they're close to the way I am, we know that that's exactly what it was. That's the kind of wickedness that we were doing back in our days. You know what I mean? And that's the way raza is. Let me, disculpen, estoy acomodando ahí mi teléfono. Ahora sí. That's the way raza is. That's the way of, that's the kind of life that we were trained or done to do. You know what I mean? And so sometimes when we're coming into the truth, a lot of us, man, a lot of brothers and sisters, they think, well, you know what? Let me get better first. Let me stop smoking weed. Let me stop doing this. Let me stop doing that. I'm not ready. I'm not ready because I'm still wicked. Brother, you always going to be wicked before you come into this truth. And you will never leave your wicked ways unless you come into this truth. Because this truth begins to instruct you on what wicked is. And when you begin to learn what wicked is, you begin to change your ways. Make sure that's pointing only at you. So pointing at you, yeah, I got this one over here. So we're both going to be on it. So, this is the way you get instructed, man. You get instructed by coming out of there, no matter how you are, and coming into this truth. I don't want to sound too Christian-y, right? But you know what they say, come as you are. You know what I mean? Come as you are. We're going to take you the way you are because you're never going to change out in the world. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. You have to come in here and make the change here, because here you begin to realize what it is that your problem is, because sometimes we don't see how wicked we are. Man, let me go back to what we were talking about. Edom, these white people do not see how wicked they are. They don't think anything is wrong. Unless we don't march, they'll never know something is wrong. They don't think anything is happening. They think we're all good. They think that all you were meant to do was work. You know how the Lord said we were a donkey, an ass? That's the way they see us. They see us as you're an ass. All you need to do is be working. You need to cut my grass. You need to mow my lawn, right? You need to go to work every day. Quintin Navarro, yeah, come as you are, absolutely. I know that one. So, this is their wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? And they think that we're like that. They'll never. What is that precept? What comes out of the womb can never be straightened.
You can't make straight what the Lord has made crooked.
Exactly. You cannot make straight what the Lord has made crooked. And Edom are crooked people, man. They are a crooked nation that has no compassion, no love for us. And it's not me saying it. It's history saying this. It's the news every day saying this. It's what's going on right now that we see, that you turn on the radio and you see, man, Salakia, you go onto your Facebook and you see some white guy at some restaurant telling a black man, calling him a nigger, and then this black man is slapping the hell out of this white boy, right?
Nice.
Why? Because they have no respect. Because they don't think nothing is wrong with that. Because they think everything is fine. Because they don't think that calling you that word is wrong.
Right.
Because to them, their ancestors said that word. Man, I just watched a great documentary on Netflix, and it's about hangings. They have this documentary right now on Netflix about hangings, and it's called The Postcards. Something about, man, I can't remember the name of it, but it's something to do with postcards. And it's talking about how what they did, look at how wicked these people are. They invented the postcard, right, for the hangings. So photographers would take pictures of all the people rallying at the hangings, and then they would make postcards of them, for they could send memorabilia, for they can send to their families. And this is where it's really going to get you. You should watch this documentary on Netflix. It's called The Postcard something, but I can't think of what the whole name is. But they're saying that what people would do is when the photographer was taking a picture, people would try to get as close as they could to the guy that's hanging and the photographer, because that made you special. Because they would think, man, I'm about to get into this one, brother, man.
Good, nice.
You shouldn't even started me on this. So,
like it.
right? So, and you know what? Let me, and I'm gonna get the name, man. I cannot go any further. I have to get this name, right? It's a Netflix series. Netflix, Salakia. Netflix documentary, right? On Postcards. And I'm about to give everybody the name. You got to watch this documentary, man. You got to watch it.
If I could add some real
Go
quick,
ahead.
just to touch on what you're bringing now, right? Here's something even more heavy, right? What's that saying that they love saying? Judge a man by the context of his character and not the color of his skin. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. We're judging the oppressor by the contents of his character. It's how they act. It's got nothing to do with it.
That's it. It's called Token of a Great Day. Tawada Sonia Ross. That's exactly what it's called. It's called Token of a Great Day. Salakia, man. I'm just, it moved us into this. You know what I mean? Man.
Right.
Malakma, you gotta watch this, man.
I most definitely will. So
I don't know how I ran into it. I'm always looking for documentaries to watch, and it just so happened that I ran into this one. It's for an asylum. It's actually called, what the sister said, Token of a Great Day. Even the name they gave it, Token of a Great Day. You know what I'm saying? Like how wicked it is that they would even call it Token of a Great Day.
Right.
Yeah, they would cut off body parts. But the thing that really caught me is how the white folks that were at the lynchings thought that they needed to be right next to the guy that was being lynched.
Right. Good. Nice.
And how they had to be there and their picture had to be taken. It goes into the story of this one guy that was like, there was people in front of him, but he was kind of in the background. But even though he was in the background, he was able to send that picture to his mom and say, "Mom, that's me in the back."
Damn.
Wow. Like if it was he was some type of a hero. Like if he had gotten man, I don't even know how to explain how wicked this documentary is. But it's about black folks, right? Because it's all black folks who are speaking on it. But you know what caught me too? It's all black folks. But what really caught me is while I'm watching this documentary, I'm thinking, who made this documentary? Because it would have really been impacting if they would have said Mexicans went through the same thing as the black brothers did. They would have said, you know what? This that you're seeing here not only happened to blacks,
right.
It also happened to Hispanics.
Right.
An equal amount of Hispanics were hung on trees as black folks were.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been something else if I was watching this documentary and all of a sudden they would have said, it would have shown a part of Hispanics being hung. Because then we would have really known, wait a minute, not only blacks are being hung, Hispanics are being hung. Right. And there's plenty of books on what is Latino lynchings.
Right.
Right?
So like if I could write on the city of Thousand Oaks, right? Why they get its name? It got its name because that's named after the oak trees that they would lynch Mexicans on.
Right. Man, that documentary, I'm glad that I don't know how it came up, but Most High in Christ. If you haven't watched that documentary, you've got to see that documentary. You got to take a moment, go on Netflix and watch Lynching Postcards, A Token of a Great Day. Because that is something, man, it's a must watch. And it even goes into a part where they lynched this black man and then he was burnt. Right. And it says thousands, man. They're showing like millions of people. I'm saying millions because that's how many look like to me. Millions of people gathering around to watch this black man get hung and burned. Right. And it's funny because they put these on, they made postcards. Right. These were memorabilia for white people. And they would send them to their families. Look, Mom, and they would call them picnics. It was a Sunday picnic, all these lynchings. You know what I'm saying? And what they did is they burned this man in Texas, and it even got a name. They said they were lynching, like if they lynched a man in Tennessee or in California or in Arizona or somewhere else, they would say, wow, they gave him a Texas lynching.
Good.
Because they burned him and they lynched him and they burned him.
Right.
So it got the name a Texas lynching. Because not only were you lynched, but you were also burned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. I seen that it said during the 1880s to 1968, over 4,000 African Americans were lynched at the hands of white mobs, right? But they're giving a number of 4,000 people.
Right.
But when we really know how wicked America is, that number is low count. You know what I'm saying? And you're not even adding the lynching of Hispanics or Native American Indians.
So, like, sir, what I also want to add is that the 4,000, that's the ones that you know about. How about the ones that you don't know about? You know what I mean?
Right. And let me tell you, these lynchings were they were commemorating, right? And as souvenir postcards for the lynching of blacks, at least in that documentary. But like I said, it really would have got me if they would have said, you know what, let's add the Hispanics to this. But you see, this is the problem. And this is where I.S.U.P.K really comes in. Because we don't only speak about blacks. We speak about Hispanics and Native American Indians.
Right.
You got whoever made that documentary, you got them making a documentary on only black lynchings. But how about our struggle? How about what we went through? How about what the Native American Indians went through?
Right.
You know what I mean? These people, these brothers, man, they went through the same thing as the black man.
Right.
And that's where it becomes powerful. When we begin to speak about all of our tragedies.
Right.
When we begin to bring out everything they've done to us as a people. You know what I'm saying? It's funny too, because what does the Bible say? Christ was hung on a tree.
Right.
Isn't that what it says?
Right.
As Christ was hung on a tree. Imagine that. Christ was hung on a tree.
Right.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Not only was he hung on a tree, he was executed and arrested unarmed.
Right. He had an arrest warrant.
Yeah,
right. And he was taken. Right. Was
beaten and tortured while unarmed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and so when you see this, and you know, let me tell you something. The sister just mentioned it, and you know, this weekend we were at camp, right?
Right.
And it just so happened that you know we were out there speaking, and we got a boot kiss from an Edomite.
Right.
You know, the Edomite came up to the camp, and we were speaking, and we got a boot kiss from this Edomite. There was some Hispanic brothers out there who thought that was offensive, who thought they couldn't believe that was happening. You know what I'm saying? To them, it was like, whoa, what are they doing? Why are they kissing their feet? You know, that's ridiculous. I'm sure a lot of black people, you know, brothers, they do the same thing. They're like, oh, I can't believe they're getting their boot kiss. You know what I'm saying? And and when you think about it, the lynchings are the boot kiss is nothing compared to the lynchings that happen to our people.
Right.
That boot kiss is minimal. That you see happening when they give us a goddamn boot is absolutely to Sonia Ross. Absolutely, that's not enough. You know, the Lord doesn't think that's enough, because the Lord is talking about He's going to destroy Edom completely. You know what I mean? So obviously, the boot kiss to us, you know, yeah, we'll take a boot kiss. Why not? But the Lord doesn't think so. The Lord doesn't think that that's enough. The Lord thinks that they deserve more than that.
Right.
And that's why we're seeing the war in the Ukraine starting to take place.
So, like, sir,
Go ahead.
If I could add real quick. You know, it's funny and it's heavy that you say that, Arwan, because it's like you get offended by these oppressors, like these white boys and white girls, you know, these Edomites coming and kissing our boots. Let me say this, man. We don't force them to come do it. That's the main point. They come up, they hear us out, and their spirit knows of what they're at. Their spirit convicts them to do it. We don't force these devils to come kiss our boots. What did the oppressor do to our ancestors? They forced them to bow down. They forced them to kiss their boots, man. They kicked them and beat them while they were down. And us, they do it out of their own will. So for y'all to even get offended and to think that, it's the same thing, y'all, man, y'all are blinded by America. Y'all are blinded by that damn Christian church, man. That's the reality of it.
Right.
Absolutely. Like the brother Quintin Navarro said, Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
It blinds you from realizing that what's happening is nothing. That boot kiss is nothing compared to the grave destruction and atrocities that these people have committed on our people. You know what I'm saying? On our ancestors. And let me tell you, when we go out there and we speak, we're not speaking for us. We're speaking for those who couldn't speak.
Right.
For those that were hung without a voice. For those who were robbed, raped, and murdered without ever being able to say anything.
Right.
Well, that's us.
Right.
And we're back. And this time, we're speaking out.
Right.
And this time, we're allowed to say what we couldn't say. And we're not going to stop because, the brother Gutierrez says, Mexicun says, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna take that route. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna speak. And you know why? Because when brothers hear these words, they understand that we're speaking for our people.
Right.
Because our people couldn't have it. They didn't have a voice.
Right.
Your sister who died, in the fields, your mom who died in the cages, your sister who was beaten and raped, your Native American and your brothers who disappeared, Native American and sisters who are still disappearing, they ain't got a voice. So let us be the voice.
Right.
Let us be the ones who speak for those who can't. Right, you know what I'm saying? And let them get mad. The reason is they don't understand what's really going on. Right. We do. Right. We have a clear vision and we have a clear mind and a clear conscience that this time around the Lord has chosen us as this mouthpiece, like the brother said, right? Cry aloud, and that you lift your voice up like a trumpet, and that's exactly what we do. We come out and we cry because you know what? That's what has to be done, man. That documentary is something heavy. You know what I mean? It's something heavy, and it's nothing new to me. They're doing that documentary. Me and my son did his Mexican lynchings on I.S.U.P.K. a long time ago. Right. We spoke about the lynchings of America a long time ago. This is not new to us. We've been speaking about the lynchings of Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians for years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not I'm not amazed or taken by a documentary. I'm just thinking that it's about time somebody starts speaking. And I guarantee you, and the way where I'm going with this is that Netflix would not have us on that show. Netflix would not allow us to speak because when we speak, it just sounds different. Right. When the Lord speaks, it really sounds like hate. Right. When the Lord speaks, it really sounds powerful. When you see that documentary, you think, oh, wow, it's moving. We're not moving. We're impacting. That's the difference between us and them. When you hear us speak, when you see us out on the street, when you see us speaking for our people, it's impacting. We're changing the way you think. That documentary, a lot of people are going to watch it, and then they're going to watch another movie, and then another movie, and then another movie, and then they're going to forget about it. Right. We don't. What we speak sticks to you, your soul, and your spirit forever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because that's the way it should be. You got a precept?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Absolutely. Go ahead, break it down.
Come on, sir. So that falling away first, that's that decolonization. Right. That's, separating your spirit from America, coming into the I.S.U.P.K. and learning this truth, being an Israelite. Stop celebrating, Christmas, all those American holidays. Stop loving America. Stop loving its oppressors. That's how you fall away, right? And then the son, there come a falling away, and then that man of sin be revealed. That's what we do in the I.S.U.P.K. We reveal that man of sin. When we call out the so-called white man and we bring out the crimes that he's done to us, we're revealing that man of sin. You know, he's the son of perdition. And that's not just the so-called white man. That's all these heathens too. That's the Asians, the Arabs, all these nations, all these people that come and oppress us and you know, put us in the condition that we are. We bring that out. We're revealing the man of sin. That's what we do in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me tell you about the falling away, because every time a brother comes into the I.S.U.P.K, that's a falling away.
Right.
Every time you step away from the Christian church, you're fulfilling that prophecy,
right,
that Malak was talking about. Every time that a brother says to himself, man, I'm no longer going to go to that Christian church.
Right.
I'm no longer going to go to that Catholic church, and realizes how wicked those organizations are when they realize that, and they come into the I.S.U.P.K and embrace who they really are, Israelites,
right,
Hebrews. When you do that, you're fulfilling a prophecy
right,
of the falling away that's written in the Bible. Because we're falling away from the lies of religion,
right,
that have been taught to us for over 600 years for the Mexicans,
right,
500 years for the Native American Indian,
right,
400 and something years for the black man.
Sir.
We're falling away from these religious lies that your grandma,
right,
your great grandma, your great great grandma
right,
taught you, right? And that you were almost teaching your children. And now you're falling away.
right,
You're realizing that white Jesus is a lie.
right,
You're realizing that the Virgin Mary is not a virgin.
right,
Right? You're realizing that the Santo Niño de Antoche is just a piece of wood,
right,
you know, or just a piece of rock, and that is not your religion. You're falling away from the most vicious venom that the Spaniard could have
right,
gave us.
The
most destructive thing that those colonizers gave us in this time, in the year 2022,
right,
you're falling away from this. You're turning your back to these things, and you're realizing this is not ours. This was implemented into us through lies, deceit, rob, rape, and murder, right? The generational destruction of our people with lies is coming to an end right here, right now. And why? Because the Lord has deemed it to be in this time,
right,
in this appointed time, because that's what we're living. We're living in the appointed time, in the time of the falling away. Continue reading that.
Sir. You want me to go to verse 4?
Right.
Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
And that's what happened, that this white man came and put himself as if he was God.
Right.
As if he was the one who was making. The white man is the father of science of lies.
Right.
Is the father of the science of religion. Is the father of the science of everything destructive. Is the father of the one that says that I'm right and you're wrong. White is right and everything else is wrong. And it's time that we, you know, as a people, come together and realize that this is the end of his time. His time is coming to an end, and it's starting right here with us. We're bringing it to an end. The minute that you realize, man, wait a minute, this guy is as wicked as these brothers is saying, then that's the first part. Imagine slowly, like it happened in 1969, slowly this word of the Lord is spreading like a wildfire. I came into this truth 5 or 6 years ago, and now when I go to the Passovers, it's like, wow, the Passover is now more than when I first started going. Now they need bigger spots for the Passover. Now more brothers. Now we ain't got room for brothers anymore. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we need more room, because that's how many brothers is coming into the truth, and that's into the I.S.U.P.K. Let's go out of the UPK, because when you look on the net, so many brothers is talking about, yeah, we Israelite. Yeah, they in the fake Israelite camps, but they still realizing who they are. And they're still dropping away from Christianity and Muslims and Catholics and Baptists and all these things. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of time till they realize that the Lord has chosen one man to lead his people.
Right.
The way he's always had. Like, we ain't telling you nothing new. Judas Maccabees, Moses, you know, Daniel, right? David, right? Christ himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got one man who's leading everybody all the time. He doesn't choose multiple people to do his job.
Right.
He chooses one man to bring his people together.
Right.
And he chooses that one man because he's instructed on what to do. And then that man has to instruct everybody. The Lord is a man of order, a man of war.
Right.
There is no confusion. There is no multiples. There's only one. He goes to one, and that one leads the rest. That's the way it is. That's the way it's always been in the Bible. There's never been multiples. There's only been one. When Daniel's time, yeah, Daniel had his friends, but Daniel was always the one that was addressed.
Right.
Daniel was the one that was always in front. What did the king say? I put 3 of them in there, Daniel and his friends, but I see 4. You know what I'm saying? But it was always Daniel who was addressed. And so here we are again in an appointed time, and the Lord has chosen who he's going to choose, right? And that is Commanding General Yohanna of the I.S.U.P.K.
Oh, God.
He's the one who's leading us to do the right thing. Order with all of us. Right. You know, you got a problem with your brother, approach your brother. You didn't listen, take him to counsel. Right. You know what I'm saying? Order, everything in order. Yeah, brothers go off, but that's why you got to come back. You cannot allow this world and its lies to take you down. And then think about it. A lot of brothers I know, man, a lot of brothers and sisters, man, even in the truth, you go through a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not safe from it, but who's the one who's really doing this to you? You know, a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters and brothers, you know, they got this thing, well, you know, that brother's treating me like this. You know, this other brother's treating me like this. You know, I'm having issues with these brothers. Now I got 2 or 3 brothers coming at me, you know. But let's see the story. Where is this really coming from? Do you think it's really your brother doing this to you? Do you really think another black man is doing this to you? Let me tell you how you test it. Have you ever heard the story of Ahab? You know the story of Ahab.
Oh, God.
The story of Ahab, well, Ahab had a problem. He had a problem with the Lord. What did the Lord do? The Lord didn't attack Ahab. The Lord said he had a meeting with all his angels, gathered all the angels. They came together, and the Lord asked, who will go down there and kill Ahab?
Right.
Who's going to go there and destroy this king? And all the angels gathered, and they were talking amongst themselves. Who's talking? The angels are talking amongst themselves. And they're saying, well, you know, I can do it. No, I can do it. Me and Malakma are like, no, we can do it, man. We can go out there and do this thing. Then this one angel steps up and says, I'll do it. And the Lord asked him, well, how are you going to do this? He says, I'm going to go and whisper lies into the ears of his prophets, his captains, his generals, his soldiers. I will go and I will whisper lies. Listen to what the angel said. I will whisper lies into the ears of his prophets. And the Lord said, and then what? Of course, then that'll cause him to go to war and he will die in the battlefield. And I'm kind of like, you know, going around the story a little bit, not exactly like that, but that's the content.
Right.
So what happens? That the angel goes down and does exactly that. Begins to whisper lies into the ears of his prophets or his captains, his generals, his soldiers, and they convince him, and they do that in order for him to get killed. So, but this is a story. Who's really doing that? Well, I'll tell you who does that. That's an angel of the Lord whispering those things into your brother's ear to put you to the test, to see how if you're really going to stay here or
Right.
if you're going to drop out. If you're really going to take it personal or if you're going to drop to your knee and pray to the Lord that this gets away from you. Or are you going to, turn your back on your brother and on all of your brothers, on the school, and take it personally? Or are you going to be like, man, the Lord has got to help me. Lord, man, I'm going through this with my brother. Help me out here. You take it to counsel, you take it everywhere, but the Lord is really applying it to you. The Lord ain't letting you slip that easy. Because remember, before you came into this truth, you were a stiff-necked person. Isn't that what we were?
Right.
The Lord says you a stiff-necked people.
Right.
Like, man, you hard-headed. Man, you ain't listening. That's who Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans really are. We are stiff-necked people.
Right.
And we don't want to listen. And so the Lord knows, man. He knows how you are. You may go for a little while, getting away with it, being a nice person, oh, okay, I'm good. But in your heart, there's something there.
Right.
There's something that you've done, something that you're doing that the Lord sees that is not correct.
Right.
And the Lord's going to check you. And he's going to make sure that you come back or you never come back.
Right.
And let me tell you something. The last words you want to hear is what? Away from me.
Oh, depart from me, for I never knew thee. Yeah, no.
Those are the last words you ever want to hear. Depart from me, because you never knew me, because I never knew you.
Right.
Is that it? Because I never knew you. Brother, you do not want to hear those words. It's best that you take every checking that you can. Sister, take every checking that you can. Humble yourself as much as you can. Because you know what? It's better to be like that than anything else. Go ahead.
I got the precept, sir. We want it.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 23. I'll start at verse. I'll start at verse 23. Salakia. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Right. So that's what's happening to us, man. We're being tested. Why are we being tested? Because the kingdom of heaven, man, the 144,000, brother, to be a ruler in the next kingdom, man, this is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all of us are going to rule in the new kingdom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a tough one. And it's not for everybody. And let me tell you something. The Lord is checking us at this very moment. We're being checked. Sisters, you being checked. Brothers, you being checked. The reason you're being checked is because the kingdom is coming and not everybody has it to be a ruler of the 144,000 in the next kingdom.
So, like, sir, if I could,
go ahead.
Basically, what it is it's quality control. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's exactly what it is. He's making sure, that the Lord is making sure that the people that are in 144,000 are worthy of being in there. And Satan's job, right, is to find those who are not worthy. So that's why, you know what I mean? Like, you got to show the Lord that you're worthy, man.
Absolutely. You got to be worthy to be of the 144,000. You got to be worthy to rule in the kingdom of the Most High. And if you think you have a big position here right now, where we at, it's not. You're fooling yourself. We're nothing here. We're being what would you say, quality control? We're being checked for the next level of what we're about to do. And so you got to be ready. You got to shed yourself of this world. And if there's any drop of this world left in you, then you should understand that the Lord wants you here. And that's why he's checking you.
Right.
That's why you're going through what you're going through with the brothers in the school, with the sisters in the school, or whatever it is you're going through. The reason that you're going through this hard time is because the Lord wants you here.
Right.
And he's chiseling you, right? He's chiseling you because he wants you to hear. Man, let me tell you, if the Lord didn't want you here, brother, he wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
He'd kill you.
Right.
He put you to death, brother. The next time you went out to a bar, or you went out to play pool, or you went out with the sisters, or you went out with some other man, the Lord will kill you right then and there. He ain't playing games. Right. You would have died of COVID already. He would have murdered you already with COVID. But the Lord has mercy on all of us. He has mercy on all of us because we're still here. You know what I'm saying? And some of us, we think we're good, we think we're right, but in reality, we're not right.
Right.
And the Lord knows it. The Lord, the sister said, right? The Most High knows and sees all. Man, He doesn't see all. He knows our hearts. Isn't that what it is?
Right.
He knows our minds. He knows what you're thinking. But isn't that what the heart is?
Right.
The heart is the mind. When it says the Lord, Christians say, "Oh, the Lord knows your heart." Oh, the Lord knows your heart because you have such a good heart. No, my brother, He knows your mind. He knows what you're thinking. He knows you out there thinking perverse things, wicked things against your brother. He knows you ain't right. And that's why He's putting you through the test. Not to get rid of you, but to test you, to strengthen you.
Go ahead. If I could also add, the Lord measures you not by what you think in your mind, but by your actions, what you do. So if you out there sinning, doing wickedness, just know that that's the Lord's already measuring that, and He's going to, put a judgment against you. Now so that's what the Lord sees. The Lord sees your actions. What's that saying? Actions speak louder than words. So you know what I mean. So that's for all you brothers and sisters out there, man. You want to be mindful of how you conduct yourself. You want to be mindful of what you do, man, because the Lord is watching. There's an angel recording everything that you do, everything that you think, everything that you that goes on in your daily life. The angel is recording it, and you don't want that angel to give a bad report about you to the Lord. Then they're gonna have a council about you, and then they're gonna figure out
time to go.
Yeah, right.
And let me tell you something. What we were talking about earlier, we're living at the appointed time when we're seeing, what is it in the Bible? The prophecies of pestilence, right? The prophecies of war, right? The prophecies of what is that? Of brother against brother, right? Brother against sister, right? Against father, against mother. These are the days we're living in. We're living in those days where we read in the Bible that it says it's going to be wicked men, right? If you got those precepts, man, bring those precepts out about wicked men, a wicked nation, wicked children, where we'll no longer we'll be heartless. You know what I mean? We're living in those days are the ones we're living in today. Man, you know what I mean? Go on your Facebook, on your TikTok, and look at all the wickedness people are doing today on the TikTok. With their phones. Brother, what does it say? And science will multiply, y la ciencia se multiplicará. And now you're seeing, your phone recording all the wickedness people are doing. And instead of helping, they prefer to stand there and just film, because that's how wicked people are today. People are heartless when it comes to helping other people, at least your own brother. You know what I'm saying? Instead of helping, we're sitting there and watching it take place. Man, the Lord's prophecies are revealing in front of your face on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. All these places are now filming what the Lord has told you is going to happen. You got some? You got one?
There's a book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men.
Man, even amongst our own people are wicked men. You know what I mean? Even amongst us, even amongst Israel, there are wicked people. And those are the people that, like the brother said, what is that? What did he say? It was Salakia. I'm trying to remember that word that brother uses. But man, wicked people now, you know what I'm saying? Now we see this happening all the time when brothers, man, go out and they don't care about their own. You know what I'm saying? They care more about their enemy than they do about themselves. You know what I mean? They respect their enemy more than they respect another black man, more than they respect another Hispanic man. They'll first defend them before they defend you. We become the overseers, right? That's what we become. You become the supervisor, the overseer, who's now wicked to your own brother. You know what I'm saying? You got something? Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
Man, and let me tell you, there's an important piece in that you have to understand. Go to the top and says, be not troubled. Right? The Lord's telling you all these things that are happening right now, all these things that we see unraveling in front of our face right now. And the first thing he says at the beginning is, be ye not troubled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what he's telling you? Be confident.
Right.
You know, have faith. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what's going on with the pestilences,
right,
the war, you know, all these things he mentioned, even though he's saying all these things to you at the beginning, he tells you, be not troubled. Think about it. Well, what is it to be troubled? You know, I'll tell you what it is to be troubled. When you tell that family member who's scared as hell all the time, I don't want to hear about war. I don't want to hear about earthquakes. I don't want to hear about the COVID. Man, don't talk to me about that. Don't talk to me about war. I don't want to change the conversation because he's scared. We all have a family member like that. We all got the family member who is always afraid to hear about destruction.
Right.
Who's always afraid to hear about the end of the world.
Oh, God.
He doesn't want to hear about Jesus because he knows you're going to start talking about the end of the world. We all got that member. We all know somebody who's afraid to hear about the end of the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to watch the movies because, he always got to be watching the end of the world movies. You know, you always got. But think about it. The Lord, off the bat, he's saying, be ye not troubled. You know what I'm saying? He's giving you confidence that if you believe in everything that's in the Bible,
right,
then you don't have to worry.
Right.
You know why he said that? Because if you really knew your Bible, you would know that if you're with Christ, if you're with the Most High, if you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, if you keep his high holy days,
right,
if you have brotherhood, if you're in the truth, the day that he comes to take his people, you're going to be amongst them.
Right.
You're not going to go through the war that America's going to go through. You're not going to go through that lake of fire known as a nuclear holocaust. You don't have to see that. You don't have to go through any of the pestilences. Man, let me tell you something. COVID's been here how many years?
2 years already.
2 years? All the brothers, all of us are still here.
Right.
I don't know a single brother who died of COVID.
Right.
Like, I don't know anybody. We got it. The Lord gave it to us so we can become immune to it. Right. And now it's past us and we still here. Pretty sure all the brothers here have had COVID. Right. All the sisters here got COVID. I got COVID for a little while, but I was never bedridden. Lahab got it. We all got it. Came back from the Passover. Some of us were like, oh, you know what? We might have got it. Came back from Dallas, Texas. We might have got it. Came back from San Francisco. We might have got it. But we still here.
Right.
And all these brothers are always like, man, I got it. But the Lord is with me.
Right.
You know, the Lord is with me. We know for a fact that the work we're doing is more valuable than anything else.
Right.
The Lord ain't going to take us out. The Lord ain't going to, wipe us out. He needs all of these brothers to do this work. So we're going to be here. We're going to be here now. And when this time comes that the Lord's going to destroy this place, we still going to come back. We're still going to be here. That's why in this precept, what does it say? Read it from the beginning again. Listen closely what the Lord says about this. Go ahead.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
So he's telling you, man, there's going to be wars and there's going to be rumors of wars. So he's telling you, you're going to hear about this war. Man, you're going to hear about this war in the Ukraine. The beginning of World War III. Gog and Magog, Russia, China, and those nations coming against the United States. If you look on the news right now, all you hear about right now is the pestilence and the war. Go ahead.
See that ye be not troubled.
See that what?
Ye be not troubled.
See that ye be not troubled. Man, you're hearing about World War III. And what Christ is saying, man, don't be troubled. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about that war. Don't even worry about America being destroyed. Don't even worry about what's about to happen. Don't be troubled. Man, people are troubled all day long.
Right.
People commit suicide because they feel troubled.
Right.
People stop going to work because they feel troubled. People begin to do drugs because they feel troubled. People begin to become addicted to heroin and coke and pills and everything. Man. Because why? Because they troubled. Go ahead.
So like, I was just gonna add this. Like, well, what is it that Biden's doing now? He's passing out free crack pipes.
Absolutely, free crack pipes. Because he's passing out free crack pipes because you might be troubled. So he's gonna give you a drug so that you're not troubled. Quintin Navarro says the flying saucers. Absolutely, right. Quintin. People are afraid of the flying saucers. You got the goddamn war, the goddamn pestilence, and then you got an invasion from another planet. You know what I'm saying? From Mars, you know. But when we read the Bible, we begin to realize that it all comes together.
Right.
It all comes as one. We should not fear anything. We should not be afraid of anything that we see happening today, because we're with the Most High. We're with the Lord. We are in the I.S.U.P.K. and we serve the Most High. And let me tell you something. You're in the I.S.U.P.K. because you trust in the Lord.
Right.
Because you believe in the Most High. That's why you're in the I.S.U.P.K. You are here. You listen to this programming because you know that this right here is the truth. Because this right here is what's going to save you. Man, this is a breath of fresh air in this place. In America, the I.S.U.P.K. is like a breath of fresh air. This is like waking up in the morning and you know what? Being good. Go ahead, Oscar Warren.
I got a precept for you, sir.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thy own understanding.
Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not on your own understanding. Man, don't believe in those things that are going through your head. Don't believe in those things that, you know, you keep flashing back that you watched on YouTube and Facebook back in the day. You know, don't believe in what was that conspiracy theorist, that white guy?
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Don't believe in Alex Jones. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe in the Christian and Catholic Church. Don't lean on your own understanding. Go ahead.
I got another one, sir, if you want it.
Yep.
To the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Absolutely. He's telling us, man, come out of her, my people. Man, come out of this mentality that America has. Come out of the way America teaches our children. Come out of the way America has brought you up. America brought you up on homosexuality. America brought you up on perversion. America brought you up on hating your own people. America brought you up on that Black and Hispanics were enemies. America brought you up, Native American Indian brother, on that Mexicans were not your brothers.
Right.
America brought you up on greed. Man, don't worry about anything. Make sure that you're right. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you get ahead of the game. Isn't that what the streets were? The streets were like all about me. You know, you didn't even worry about your kids. I'll show you how. Most of the people that you grew up with who were hustling on the streets with their lowriders and their big cars and, you know, all their gold and all their jewelry, they ended up in jail. And where are their families?
Right.
Where are their children? Where are their wives? Where are their people? They didn't care about anybody else but themselves. The hustle. Isn't that what it is? The hustle, baby. The hustle. LA, the hustle. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was all about. You know what I mean? And what it really turned out to? It turned out to nothing. It turned out to you losing your family, getting locked up, coming back out with nothing, starting from scratch. How about your gangs? How about when you were a gangbanger, you thought holding up your neighborhood was the thing? Well, guess what? It wasn't, because now your neighborhood is gone.
Right.
Now they got white people gentrifying your hood, your calle, your neighborhood, and you can't do nothing about it. The white man took your barrio without a single shot,
Right.
without gangbanging on you, without hitting you without swinging a single time, without even crossing out your name on the wall. You know what they did? They went to your roll call, painted it white, and then said, anybody paints on this wall, you're going to jail for what is that?
Vandalism.
Vandalism. And they got you like that. Now you're doing time because you decided that white wall was going to be real nice with your Florencia tag on it, right? And guess what? They got you. Now you're doing time.
Right.
Now you're doing time because now you're in jail for a simple tag. You know why? Because you fulfilled the 3 strikes law. They knew how to get you. I'm going to get you on 3 strikes.
Right.
They told you, man, you can't sell weed in this neighborhood. These streets are not for selling weed.
Right.
You know, the school is right down the street. You can't sell weed here because it's against the law for you to smoke weed, right? You could even smoke weed. What is it? A mile from the school. Or they had a certain limit, right? That you could not smoke. What is that?
500 feet.
500 feet from the school, you couldn't smoke weed. If you were found with any kind of paraphernalia on you by the school, you were considered, that was a strike.
Good.
In the 80s, that was a strike. Now you were going to jail for having that on you. You know what I'm saying? And now the Armenians have shops everywhere. Now the Armenians got shops 2 blocks away from the schools. Now all of Highland Park are all weed shops. Now you go down to LA, they're all weed shops everywhere.
Glendale's got that money.
Glendale's got money like crazy off the weed. Burbank has weed shops everywhere. Hollywood, they got dispensaries growing out of trees. But when you were selling it, it was a felony.
Right.
It was a 3rd strike for you. When are we going to get that into our head? Go ahead.
Now, there's still people locked up, black and brown men, still locked up for weed charges, and they legalized weed here in California.
God. And you know what? And now we're criminals.
Right.
But they're not. They're businessmen. You a criminal because you Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian.
Right.
They businessmen. They have now their what do they got? Now they got stocks on their weed. Now they got stocks. Now who was that? Mike Tyson has stocks in weed. You know what I'm saying? Now they see it different. But when you were doing it, you were a criminal. Because you will always be a criminal in America.
Right.
You will always be a vagrant in America. You will always be a problem in America. You know what I'm saying? And unless we start to realize that, then we start to know that this place called the I.S.U.P.K, man, you will never see that again. You will never see yourself as a criminal here. You will never be a sore thumb to anybody anymore. You will be the right person. You will grow up to be righteous, and your children will grow up to be righteous right alongside with you.
Right.
And the woman you get is going to be a righteous woman, because now you're living in a righteous nation, and that nation is Israel. It's us. It's the 12 tribes. It's Black, Hispanics, Native American Indians. There ain't nothing better than that. You will not find this anywhere else. Anywhere. This is the only place you'll find that. And unless you get into this truth and you get your name and you get this work done, you will never know what it's like to experience righteousness the way it should be, right? Because out in the world, you were never righteous. Carnal, you were never right.
Right.
You were always the enemy of your brother. You couldn't walk the street without thinking that another Mexican was looking at you funny.
Right.
You can walk the street with a pair of khakis or Dickies. You can walk the street with a pair of Chucks,
right,
or your hairball,
right,
because you know what? You were an enemy to your own brother. The black man saw you as an enemy. Your own people saw you as an enemy, and your enemy saw you as an enemy.
Right.
Man, no one's more lost than Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That's why the Lord labeled us the lost tribes of the house of Israel.
Right.
Go ahead.
If I could, sir, and that's how you know that Black people, Hispanic people, that we're the same people, because you don't see Hispanics trying to unite with Asian people, Arab people. It's always been brown pride, black pride, you know, it's always those two terms have always been binary to each other. You understand why? Because we've been oppressed together.
Right.
There's that scripture that says, it's in the book of Isaiah. It says that because thou hast had a perpetual hatred against thy brother Jacob, you know, the Lord says that he's going to destroy Esau. Now, just looking at today, we know who that's talking about, because the so-called oppressor, he has had a perpetual hatred for so-called Hispanics and black people and American Indians. If you do your history, it's clear to see that he's always hated us. He's always oppressed us. So it's not hard to see that we're the Israelites in the Bible, and that the people in the Bible that God hates are so-called white people.
Right.
You understand? So we are the same people. Like Kazaki is saying, you understand, wearing Dickies and all that garbage. That's not even our culture, man. Getting tattoos, that comes from the white man. That's his culture.
Right.
You understand?
Absolutely. You got something?
So like, I was just gonna add to that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see China coming down on America saying free the kids that are locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They will say stop Asian hate though.
Right.
Oh, right.
You won't see, you know, Russia charging America, telling them to free the, you know, why are you oppressing the Hispanics?
Right.
You know what I mean? They're gonna fight for their people. All these other nations will go fight for their own versus us. You know, we want to go love everybody.
Right.
So everyone's gonna be, you know, you're gonna damn well know there's gonna be Israelites feeling sorry for the Ukrainians.
Right.
You know what I mean? You already had, you know, people feeling sorry for the Asians, feeling sorry for the Arabs. Everything that happens to everyone else, we'd be the first to go love and stand up for them. Meanwhile, the shoe's not on the other foot, man.
Right.
And when we over here trying to speak to you know, talking about we gotta love our own and have that compassion and love for our own rasa fights us.
Right.
It's come down hard on us, man.
Khan, you're absolutely right. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. I'd like to bring a precept out real quick, right?
Go ahead.
It's the book of Jeremiah 16 and 15. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. So, like, let me read the verse above that. What was that? So Jeremiah. One second. Jeremiah 15 and 14, right? And I'm going to explain to you what this is talking about. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Verse 15, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Now, what is that talking about? It's saying that today we know that the Israelites were brought out of Egypt, but it's not going to be said that anymore. Instead, in the future, it's going to be said, the Lord liveth that brought the Israelites out of the land of the north. The land of the north is talking about America.
Right.
That's where the Israelites are. And Russia, Ukraine, they don't look at Mexicans, black people as a threat. They're not going to war with us. They're going to war with the oppressor,
Right.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, these other Caucasians. That's what they're going to war with. To them, we're just the slaves in America.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, every other nation knows our history. You can go watch videos of the Chinese talking about how black people were enslaved in America. I just watched a video on an Arab woman on the news bringing up the history of the Latinos and Native Indians being slaughtered by America, and that's how they got this place built. So the other nations know our oppression. They know that we're not Americans, and they know we're in slavery, and that's what we need to understand. We need to understand that we're not American. We're not a part of this war that's about to happen. You understand? Christ is going to come back and save us. That's why he's saying it's known that he's going to take the Israelites out of the north. Because Christ is going to come back, destroy America, and save us. I just read where it said that Russia proclaimed war on Ukraine.
Right.
I mean, World War III is literally around the corner.
Right. Absolutely. And that. You know what? That's a fact. You know what? Everybody knows that we slaves except for ourselves.
Right.
Everybody knows that that America is built on slavery. America is built on the rob, the rape, and murder of our people, except for us.
So like
we're the only ones who can never understand it. Go ahead.
Now, so like I just want to add this real quick. It's been brought out, right, that Adolf Hitler, you know, the way he treated the Jewish man was based off the way, you know, America treated the indigenous people.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't doubt it. You know, he learned the oppressive ways through America. But you know what we got to do? We got to remember that that our goal here is to be right.
Right.
So that we can bring our brothers in and they can be right. Because the time is short. You know what I'm saying? And we see it happening around us. And if you really think about it, the Lord in 1969, right? To us, it seems like a long time. But what does it say? One day to the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day.
Right.
1969 was the beginning of the end,
right,
of the prophecies in the Bible. Everything that's written in the Bible is being fulfilled now. You know what I'm saying? And we're the ones who have been chosen to make this happen. And I'm pretty sure that in 1969, it was all just brothers in that group.
Right.
You know, but now all of a sudden, you got the Hispanics coming in. You know what I'm saying? You got the Zebulon coming in. You know what I'm saying? We got Zebulon in here. We got all these tribes now coming in.
Right.
Now all of us are rising up and knowing who we are. So that prophecy is being fulfilled. We're falling away, right? We're learning who we are, right? We're calling the Lord by his name, something that we never did.
Right.
Right? We're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and we're celebrating his high holy days.
Right.
All these things are coming to be fulfilled. I would say, forget about the wars and rumors of wars and about the pestilence, because that's what the Catholic Church and Christians have always said. But really think about ourselves as a people, as individuals. We are coming in and fulfilling as individuals,
right,
the prophecies of the Bible,
right,
of coming back to who we really are. That's got to be more powerful than anything, because you know they've all when you talk to atheists, they'll say, well, there's always been wars and there's always been pestilence. They had the Spanish flu, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They had World War I, World War II.
Right.
They've always been wars, man. Famines. There's always been Africa's always had famines. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
their way of seeing things. But when did we ever realize who we really
right.
were? When did we really realize how we were brothers? How we were really one nation? It's not until now that the Lord has chosen the man to bring us out, like he chose Moses, like he chose Christ, like he chose the prophets. Now he's chosen, and now the work of the end is being done.
Right.
And that is bringing Israel back to being a nation.
Right.
And we ain't going to be a nation till Christ comes back.
Right.
Right.
Then we will be a nation. Right now, we're just starting to come together and realizing that we a nation. Man, put behind you all the, what do they say, bad vibes.
Right.
Put behind you all the negative of who we used to be. Put behind you who you used to be and embrace who you really are. Because to embrace who you really are, to realize that you are the Israelites, to come into this truth, to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, to celebrate the high holy days, to treat your brother like a brother, to treat your sister with honor and respect is prophetic. It's part of the Bible. It's part of fulfilling the end times. We already know that Christ is black, something we didn't know.
Right.
But this, as individuals that we are, and doing this part here is, man, we fulfilling this to its fullest. We're sealing the book of what is that? Of Revelations, right? We're sealing that book to a T, because that's who we are. And that's what it's taking us to. You know what I'm saying? This is how we're involved in the prophecy of Israel waking up in the last days, remembering who they are and calling the Lord by his name, right? that he might come and take us, right?
Oh God.
This is what we're fulfilling. This is how it comes together. And that's us, Black Hispanics and Native American Indians. This is the part that we're taking in this fulfillment of the prophecies of the end times. And these wars that we're hearing, they're going to come. And these pestilence we're hearing, man, they're on their way. And earthquakes and in diverse places and what else? And famines and, mother rising up against brother and brother raising up against brother and nation against nation. Yeah, that's going to be fulfilled. It's always been happening. As the Christian church will tell you, man, that's always happened. But once again, when has Black Hispanics and Native American Indians realized that they are the house of Israel, that they are the chosen people?
Well, what's that big movement, right, amongst so-called Hispanics and Native Americans? Decolonization, right? Separating your spirit from America.
Right.
That's big on with our people right now, man.
And that's where we at.
Right, Kamakan.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I want to thank everybody for joining us. The Inconvenient Truth, as always, every Wednesday, straight out of California. You know what I'm saying? We always here, man. We ain't going to leave this show till the Lord turns it off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They try to shut us off today a couple of times, but as always, man, the Lord is with us. You know what I mean? Tune in every Wednesday, man. Don't forget, man. Let me bring this up. I'm not going to forget these. You know what I'm saying? Before everybody goes anywhere, I got to remind you, you know what I'm saying, that we got that high holy day coming up. You need to participate. It's part of the prophecies. You know what I mean? It's part of the prophetic way the Lord sees things. And it's like this. The 53rd annual Passover, April 15th, 2022 at sundown in Florida. Hey, let me tell you something. I checked out tickets today. I believe I saw them for $80 to go out to Florida. $80 to fly out to Florida, man. You know, that's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the 16th. Don't forget, man, this is the 53rd annual Passover at Cocoa Beach, Florida, man.
Right.
You got to get there. You got to do it right. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget, I.S.U.P.K. Puerto Rico, para toda mi gente que habla español, aquí está la verdad en tu idioma. We got El Hogar de la Verdad, I.S.U.P.K. Puerto Rico. And don't forget, every Friday, they got classes en tu lengua hebrea, classes de lengua hebrea, learn the Hebrew language,
right.
I.S.U.P.K. Puerto Rico. This is the Hebrew language in Spanish. So you can, people are like, a lot of brothers tell me, man, I got to learn Spanish. A lot of the Israelite brothers, man, I got to learn Spanish. Well, here you go. You're not only going to learn Spanish, you're also going to learn Hebrew. So that's like 3 in 1. You know what I mean? You're going to pick up the Hebrew language in Spanish and in English. That's the show to watch. I.S.U.P.K. Puerto Rico with Asha Paraya, with Captain Asha Paraya, man. He's gonna set you straight with the Hebrew language in Spanish and in English, man. And he's got his classes every Wednesday at 7 to 9 p.m. You can catch the Home of the Truth right there with Captain Asha Paraya. They got that show en la Escuela Israelita, Conocimiento Práctico Universal, todos los miércoles. Tune in. It's a Spanish class. All for my people that speak Spanish, la verdad en tu idioma, you know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, don't forget, tune in, Thursday nights, 10 p.m., I.S.U.P.K. One West Radio with Captain Gadahar, Real Black Talk, man.
Right.
Tune in, man. We're going to be there live, as always, right after Scripture Breakdown. Tomorrow, Thursday, tune in, I.S.U.P.K. California, right? I.S.U.P.K. Hollywood Israelites. You know what I'm saying? You want to tune in? Heavy class with Captain Gadahar and all the West Coast crew out there. You know what I mean? They're doing it big. And for those of you who want to learn the I.S.U.P.K., the Lashawan Kadash, you know what I'm saying? California Lashawan Kadash classes every Friday with priest and officer Kapar, my man Kapar, right? From San Bernardino. But you can catch it on I.S.U.P.K. I.S.U.P.K. Hollywood. I.S.U.P.K. Hollywood Israelites, ISUPK.com. Don't forget to tune in. We there, man. We there. We putting it down. For everybody else, don't forget, we got the ISUPK Mexico. Man, para la raza mexicana, tune in, ISUPK Mexico. We also got ISUPK Latinoamérica, La Biblia en tu idioma. You know what I'm saying? Tune in there too. ISUPK Rio Grande. Don't forget, man. We doing it big. You know what I'm saying? We doing it big. La verdad de la Biblia en tu idioma, ISUPK Mexico, clases bíblicas. Man, tune in, get your family involved, man. Let's save our people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's really about. Let's save our people. above everything, let's do the right thing. Let's come back to the Lord, because that's where it's at. With that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Alabado sea Israel. Thank you, Sonia Ross. Alabado sea todo Israel, el Dios Todopoderoso. Estamos aquí para servirles todos los miércoles. También pueden sintonizar conmigo los martes en I.S.U.P.K México. También tengo las clases en español, la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal, todos los martes a las 8:30 en este mismo canal. Me puedes agarrar, y a tu familia. Con eso nos despedimos. With that, we say Shalom, Israel, till next week.
Shalom, rasa.
That was a good show too, man. That documentary.
I gotta check that out.
Oh man, you know what? I didn't even think about talking about that today, but then it dawned on me. Oh, wait a minute! I watched a documentary last night. You know what I'm saying?
And this one.